Pleasant day, everyone. I know that most of us here are known or familiar with the game Tumbang Preso because it is among the Filipinos' favorite games to play. So if we say Tumbang Preso, what does it mean? Tumbang Preso is also known as Tombalata or Batolata, and it is a traditional Filipino children's game. The game involves throwing sleeper at a can or bottle that one player, the taya, attempts to guard. It is usually played in backyards, parks, or on the streets. It is derived from the Filipino words tomba, which means to fall, and preso, which means prisoner, translating to fallen prisoner. This game has been passed from generation to generation because of the fun, creativity, and benefits it offers. So in this discussion, instead that we will discuss the original version of Tumbang Preso, we will discuss our own version of Tumbang Preso, which our team decided to call it BATOmbang Preso with Darna twist version, in which the pamato will be a flat stone. The players or hitters of the game will be called Darna. On the other hand, the taya will be called Itina, which comes from the words it, and Valentina, which means Darna's opponent on the drama. So for now, let's proceed to the objectives of the game.
Objectives. These must be the goals. First, for the players, to knock down the guarded or prisoner or the can with your pambato and retrieve it without being caught by the guard. By the players, you need to knock down the can inside or outside a circle, and after that, you make sure to run faster while you are retrieving your pambato so that the it can caught you, and that would be a success for the player, and she or he won't be the next it or taya if she or he can't get caught. For the taya or it, to recorn the can inside the circle and tag the player that to retrieving their pamato. If the player knocked down the can inside or outside the circle, the it must build it back, the can, and then it needs to tag any player who's retrieving their pamato so that there is another it or taya. To all, to promote presence of mind, fast thinking, and movements as well as agility. This game help us strengthen our minds and body. Both the players and the it need to be alert to run, not being caught and tagged. They both need to focus like when throwing a pamato and hit the can. These really help us to move faster, can improve our body to move with speed, and also this help us to open our mind and be alert.
So here are the equipment needed for BATOmbang Preso game. First, the can bottle or any cylindrical object. Next one is the flat stone as a pamato or checkers, and chalk, charcoal, or sticks that directly mark the available field. Ideally, this game involves a maximum of 5 players. One of the players serves as the guard or it, and the rest are the hitters.
So here comes with the mechanics of the game. First, the players must draw a 2 line at one point on the ground, while a small circle is drawn 3 to 4 arms span away from that 2 line. So before magdula ang tumbang preso, the players must draw a 2 line na magsilbing a base sa mga hitters. Tapos a small circle that were 3 to 4 arms span away from the base para sa butangan sa lata with the pamato sa mahimong abal. Second, the players must decide on the first guard in order to start the game. To determine who's bintag as it, the players will do hompiang makulob mahayang. The loser gets to guard the can, which is called itina, and must catch the darnas or players when they get their pamato. So pag naanay court sa dula, ang mga players maghompiang tas ang mapili maoy mahimong abal or what we call the itina. Third, the itina should place the can and his bato inside the circle and guard it while the darnas or hitters prepare behind the 2 line. So ang abal or the itina, ibutang niya ang lata inside the circle with his or her bato, tas after that, mag-guard siya sa lata while ginahit sa mga hitters or the darnas ang lata. Fourth, at the itina signal, the hitters start to turn around and afterward, they must raise their hand with the pamato and say the word Darna. Then hit the can directly once, whether it can be hit or not. Di ba naka-prepare na ang itina dito sa small circle? So maghatag na din siyang signal sa mga hitters na magsugod ng tuyok, tas pagkahuman, ipataas sa mga hitters ilang kamot while gasinggit o Darna. Tas after pagsinggit nila, pwede na sila mulabay sa lata or pwede na nila i-hit ang lata. Fifth, If the players have finished throwing their pamato, the itina will count from 1 to 10 to signal for them to pick up their bato. However, if there is one player who has already picked up his or her pamato, the counting is over. So after mahuman og labay ang mga hitters sa ilang pamato, tas walay nakahit sa can, dayon ang mga hitters wa pay bisan isa na nipunit sa ilang pamato, the itina or the abal will count 1 up to 10 as magsilbing time limit sa mga hitters para mupunit sa ilang pamato. Pero pag naanay isa na mupunit, the count is over. Tas lakagon na sa itina ang hitter nga nipunit sa iyang pamato. Number 6. Players will go to the end point with their pamato and retrieve it back to their base or to the starting point, while the itina must catch them, and if the hitter is caught and tagged, he becomes the next it. So diba pagpunit sa players sa ilang pamato, mudagan sila pabalik sa ilang base nga dapat dili sila madakpan sa itina or sa abal. Kay pag naay madakpan ang itina sa isa sa mga hitters, din mauna say mahimong itina or siya na sad ang mahimong abal. 7. And the 3 to 6 process is repeated as many times as the players agree. So pag naanay madakpan or wala may madakpan, padayon ang dula with the same scenario until ang players magkasinabot nga magpadayon sila o dula or dili na ba.
And now, let us know the rules and regulations in playing the BATOmbang Preso with Darna twist version. Players must turn around 3 times behind the starting line, and after that, they will say Darna while raising their hand with the pamato before hitting the prisoner. If players fail to knock down the can, they must retrieve their bato or stones to the original starting point by raising one hand where the pamato were placed. In simple word, if ang players is ma-fail sila sa pagpatumba sa lata, kung ilahang kuhaon or ilahang ibalik ang ilahang pamato padulong sa original starting point, is kinahanglan ilahang erase or ipataas ilahang kamot kung asa ang pamato nakabutang. Then, if the can is knocked down outside the circle, the itina will never tag a player until he doesn't build it back inside the circle. If the can is knocked over inside the circle, the itina must build it back up and then jump over it before he proceed to chase the players. In simple word, if ang lata is natumba lamang sulod sa circle, kinahanglan muna sa itina nga ibalik niya patindog ang lata ug iyahang ambakan ay siya mo proceeds sa paggukod or sa pagdakop sa mga players. While the player who knocked out the can inside the circle must shout the word Darna when retrieving her or his pamato without interruption while running back to the original starting point. In which, katong player nga nakatumba sa lata tapos naalang natumba sa sulod sa circle is kung iyahang ibalik ang iyahang pamato, kinahanglan niya nga i-shout ang word nga Darna without interruption while gadagan siya to the original starting point. So, kung ma-fail ang player sa pagbuhat ani, mahimo siyang the next it. Next, if the player accidentally hits the bato inside the circle or hits the pamato or ayan of the taya or it inside the circle, is kato siya nga player must turn around times before niya kuhaon or before niya ibalik ang iyang pamato to the original starting point. That's why need jud nga kinahanglan mag-inabdik ang player nga makaigo sa pamato sa taya or it. And most importantly, the players should directly retrieve their pamato to the base within 1 to 10 seconds after throwing the can, while the itina will chase them when they have got their bato. If the player is being captured, he or she becomes the next it.
Benefits of playing BATOmbang Preso. BATOmbang Preso has intellectual and physical health benefits. Some of the importance of playing these sports include the following. It provides the opportunity to exercise without stress. It enhances creativity and promotes better socialization among kids. It can also help in building a connection between the children and their elders. This is also because these are the same games that were enjoyed by their parents and grandparents. BATOmbang Preso is without a doubt one of the most famous native games in the Philippines. Since time out of mind, the game has been enjoyed by the Filipino children as well as some adults. It has also gained popularity in other parts of the world.